Female-only tax service plans blocked by Glasgow City Council for being sexist. I love it. Of course, this is that female privilege that doesn't exist, right? Because, patriarchy, which is all about male privilege, I don't see that anywhere. I don't see men having their own male-only taxi service, which would be very nice, by the way. Well, no, wait. I think most male taxi drivers would prefer not to have to drive dudes around as well. Drunken bums who might start fistfights with them. Of course, then again, drunken broads could be more problems. Yeah. Drunken broads could cause a lot more problems anyway. Remember that tape of that Uber? This isn't that much of an aside, really, since it's about, taxi drivers and such, which is essentially what Uber drivers are. Remember that little 5 foot tall or 5'3" or whatever, hot little package Indian or whatever she was that was a doctor? Great ass. Whew. Wearing these tight little short shorts. And 30-year-old. She was really hot, actually. Right there at the edge of the wall, but still, not bad. And she just trashed the Uber guy's car. Just trashed the Uber guy's car. Geez, you're not safe with men or women. Oh my! Could it be that the sexes are equally or can be equally dangerous? No! Oh boy. This woman if this woman was to get this business started, well, yeah, I guess it would be okay, because without the male Uber driver for the female passenger to accuse of false rape accusations or some kind of Me Too or some bullshit, the women would probably be okay, unless they accuse the driver of being a lesbian or something. But anyway, female on female, the man is not at a disadvantage if there's no man, right? So I guess it'd be okay, women driving women around, I guess. I don't know. Seems like women hate each other to me, so. But anyway, the app was designed to make women passengers feel safe, but it has been rejected for excluding men. Make female passengers feel safe? Say what? There are very rare cases of some dude driving a taxi abducting a woman. It's almost unheard of. Meanwhile, I'm always seeing these videotapes. And by the way, these Uber drivers, these poor guys, it's a total loss, by the way. If you're an Uber driver, you won't make any money. From what I understand, once you essentially pay for upkeep, maintenance, gas, insurance, and everything else, you've made nothing. It's like I broke even. I'll be in business to break even! Yeah, okay, that's a really bad business. Meanwhile, Uber makes a bundle. While you're paying for all the upkeep of these vehicles, they're making a fortune off you. Oh, boy. But, yeah, the only thing I see are these Uber tapes, these poor guys who are having to invest in these internal security cameras for their cars. I see these guys getting attacked by these broads, having drinks thrown on them, having bottles of urine thrown on them. And by the way, how's that woman getting that piss into that bottle? It's not like she has a cock or anything. What does she have to stick it up in there into the, I don't know. She got some good aim. But yeah, the only time I see anybody getting abused is the male drivers. Oh, boy. Anyway, the app was designed to make female passengers feel safe by launching a woman-only service. A proposal by Margot Welsh to start Rosie and Pink cars offering female drivers to female passengers and their children. Oh, and their children. Okay, so children are okay. And what about boys? Are male children okay? Was dismissed yesterday by licensing chiefs at Glasgow City Council. This is great. It is great. Women are not allowed to discriminate. They must hate it. But we only wanted those discrimination laws passed so that we could get into male spaces and ride their coattails and get them to mentor us, and we could get some kind of equality, false equality, and get into their spaces so we can benefit. We still want to be able to discriminate. You can't have it both ways, bitches. Walsh was prompted to launch the service after seeing the amount of sex attacks in this day and age. But counselors branded the plan as sexist. What amount of sex attacks? Aren't the majority of these sex attacks in Britain, the UK, being carried out by Muslims who are having sex emergencies? Like that one guy that raped some 10-year-old kid in a pool. I hadn't had sex in 3 months. It was an emergency. And I'm a low IQ moron who can't defer gratification, so I had to rape the boy. We'll give you 3 weeks community service. Hey, that Jussie Smollett guy only got 2 days of community service. Okay, 2 days. 1 day. Oh, boy. This is great. Whale slammed the decision, them denying her a license. There's definitely a need for this. I don't get it. I don't see too many taxi drivers raping and killing their female passengers. I mean, isn't that bad for business? And don't most of these cabs have cameras? And especially if it's a professional taxi service and it's not like your own private car like an Uber, you don't even have control of or access to the videotape. You know, so I don't get it. Where's the threat? There's definitely a need for this. Loads of taxi companies are predominantly male. Well, yeah, that's because the majority of the time, the people getting attacked are the driver and not the passenger by the driver. So women don't want to do it because it's freaking dangerous. Oh, so you want to start a company that'll only hire women. It's very interesting. Very interesting. So if you're a man that has a company, affirmative action, you must hire women. If you're a woman that has a company, you can discriminate against men and you don't have to hire them. And you don't have to service them either. Huh. Double dipping when it comes to discrimination. No male customers, no male employees. Yeah, but there's no female privilege? Really? Oh, yeah, the app was deemed to be sexist. I spoke to my family who said, do you want to be driving me around at night? I wanted to be taking grannies to bingo and kids to school rather than a stag party. Do they call those stag parties anymore? Does anybody have stag parties? Let me tell you what a stag party is and how that's different from a bachelor party. Now, back in the 50s and the 60s, porn was largely unavailable, okay? You could buy fucking Playboy, and I don't know when Penthouse came along, but there were they were called stag magazines, okay? So back then, porn was called stag, okay? And essentially, what a stag party would be was 9mm film of porn. It was very rare to be able to get your hands on this and show it. So you would show stag films, porn films, right? And sit around and drink booze and laugh it up. I mean, the guys wouldn't generally sit around and have a fucking circle jerk or anything. They would just laugh and shit, and then, you know, they might get their juices flowing with some porn, and then they might hire a, stripper. But not really. Usually a stag party just involved porn. Anyway, yeah. All right, let's continue. Yeah, she would like to just be able to drive grannies and kids. Yeah, I would like to be able to not have to work, but still make money. We don't always get what we would like, do we? I do if I'm a woman. Not anymore, bitches. Counselor Robert Connolly said it's essentially sexism towards males. It doesn't sit right with me. But Welsh said, to say men are being discriminated against, I just don't feel that. What? Do you mean they're not currently being discriminated against, or that your plan to offer no services to men and to only hire men is not discriminatory? Because those are two different things. Of course, she doesn't make any delineation. Doesn't let us know what she's talking about. Hello, honey, what you're trying to do is the definition of discrimination. Of course, she's clueless now, right? I don't know what you're talking about, Your Honor. That doesn't seem discriminatory to me. I've spoken to beauticians, women in supermarkets, even firemen. One said if his daughter is going to a nightclub, he'd rather it was a female driver. Yeah. Because people working as Uber drivers, if some broad disappears between her house and a nightclub, and the last person to be seen with her was the Uber driver, he's going to be the first suspect. I mean, what the hell? How often does this really happen? I think I've heard like one instance in like 40 years where a fucking taxi driver or something abducted and killed some broad. It's super rare because you're going to be the first suspect. And again, if it's a fucking actual taxi company, you don't have access to that security footage. Yeah, sure, I'm going to rape and kill this broad in a company taxi that has cameras in it, and I have no access to the footage, and I'm on film doing it. Yeah, well, a lot of taxi drivers are going to do that. Get the fuck out of here, you paranoid bitches. Oh boy, Margot Wells slammed the council's decision. Yeah, how dare you don't give me what I want to reject her Rosie and Pink Taxi app. By the way, I think everybody should be allowed to discriminate as much as they want. You don't want to bake a cake for some gay people? Fine. You don't want to bake a cake for some Muslims? Fine. You're free to do what you want, and the public is free to not come into your establishment and buy cakes as a form of protest, and you go out of business. If people give so much of a damn. Oh, but no. In today's day and age, social justice means you make the government impose your will on people. Yeah. Doesn't sound much like social justice to me, but hey. Welsh was told driver conditions mean no passenger should be refused a journey apart from particular circumstances. These include if the passenger's drunk or otherwise not in a fit and proper condition to be carried. That's weird. How the hell could a drunkard? I mean, that's about the only thing a drunkard is good for, is sitting there. How can you not be in a position to travel when you're just sitting there? Well, the only thing you can do when you're drunk is sit down, and you're sitting down in a taxi, but you're not in proper condition to be carried somewhere in a taxi, and you're not the one driving. That's weird. That's very odd. How could you? I would think that you're in the most fit condition if you're fucking drunk and you're wasted. You're wasted. You're out of your fucking mind. You stumble bumming around. You can't walk. That's when you need a taxi. Oh, you're not in the right condition to take a taxi. I'm not the one driving, bitch. It's so strange. The driver conditions also cite passengers who refuse to cease smoking in a private hire car or are accompanied by any animal which is likely to damage or soil the interior of the private hire car as reasons to refuse a journey. What if it's a guide dog? What if you're like blind? I don't think you can refuse the journey, even if the dog's taking a dump right there before it gets in the fucking car. And when it sits down in the back, you're going to have shit from its asshole all over your fucking carpets. I don't think you can deny that journey. Anyway, she was also asked why the age restriction for male children using the service should be 11. Because once they hit 12, the hormones start popping off and they become toxically male. Welsh responded, there had to be a cutoff point. I've got a son, and when they get to high school age, they could be boisterous. It was for the safety of the drivers. Toxic masculinity. Their testosterone really gets going, and now they can get hard-ons. So they're a threat to the driver. Driveress. They're going to call them driver S's. Will said she won't be giving up her plan just yet, despite the intimidating encounter. She said, I felt they were laughing, that my idea was ludicrous. That's because you're paranoid. Her lawyer disagreed that the app would breach driver conditions and slammed counselors as hostile and dismissive. It's discriminatory. The UK is PC Central. You can't as women pass all these anti-discrimination laws and then you yourselves discriminate. You can't do that. I know you want to have your cake and eat it too, ladies. You want to be able to get into male spaces, but keep men out of your spaces. But you don't get to have it both ways. Okay. Anyway, among other issues, the committee was also not satisfied by the explanations from the applicant and their representative about how the service would be managed to avoid it being considered discriminatory. Yeah, how can it not be? I mean... And don't get me wrong, again, I think you should be able to discriminate against whoever you want. You don't want to have Ted Bundy over for lunch. You want to discriminate against serial killers and child rapists? Be my guest. You have every right to discriminate in every way, shape, and form you want. You don't like people with brown hair? Don't have brown hair people into your home. You don't want to associate with gingers? Okay, no people with red hair. I don't see the problem here. Boy, freedom is about doing whatever the hell you want so long as it doesn't harm anybody else. And at the same time, being able to do whatever the hell you want with your fucking property and other people not being able to say, well, you not sharing your shit with me or letting me have access to whatever goods and services you offer, that harms me. My property, it's my shit. Me being able to do what I want with my shit trumps your feelings, bitch. Oh, no, it doesn't now. Can't discriminate.